Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, TGIF. Hope you guys are having a really good day. Let's get started. So there's been lots of stuff going on with Amber Portwood, and I have been doing my best to deliver you the tea and the information as quickly as it comes in. This story came from Us Weekly, but I've been tracking a couple things related to her just to make sure I could get some more information. And I'm starting to feel like maybe some of these leaks that are coming out of Amber's camp are either from her brother or her mother or even Amber, to be honest. Because the spin is starting, you guys. The spin is literally starting. So Amber and Andrew obviously are in a little pickle right now because they have this no contact order because of her cucumber wielding incident in July earlier this month. And it's making things a little bit more difficult for them to communicate. And apparently that separation has led to Amber learning more about her boyfriend that she might be a little bit skeptical about, which I'm like, did you really expect to know much about him when you started dating him and got pregnant in 32 seconds, Amber? Try to make this less serious than what it is, or try to deflect, or try to put some blame somewhere else, because, in this case, you can't take responsibility for your actions, can you, Amby? All right. So here's what they have. I've got a couple bits of information here. One comes from Us Weekly, and the source says that, this is the quote directly from the source: "They love each other, but as things intensify, it's becoming a bit more difficult situation to navigate and come back from. She's learning more things about Andrew with time." She said that she's been very supportive of Glennon, but also very sensitive about potentially being taken for a fool. In her life, men have taken advantage of her. She's very sensitive to repeating that. Like, part of me wants to be like, oh, Amby, I'm so sorry. But then the other part of me is like, how are we going to feel sorry for this girl that literally started dating this guy when she was on a show with her ex-boyfriend, or they weren't even, I don't think, broken up at the time, because they were doing it in the On Marriage boot camp. And then we're supposed to suddenly feel sorry for her because now she's learning more about him after she's been with him for 2 years. I don't buy this. This sounds very spinny. All right. So then the source goes on to say that, oh, is this really? Hold on, let me check my... Are you guys seeing me blurry? I want to make sure here. Hold on one second. Let me get rid of some stuff so you guys can actually see me better here. All right. Sorry about that. For some reason, I had a lot of stuff open and I just need to close that all out. All right. Hopefully that will improve things. Let's get this closed and that closed. All right. So, all right, good. I'm just getting a signal on my end that the stream is having a tough time. So I just want to make sure that everyone is seeing me okay. Okay. All right, so here's the deal, you guys. The source goes on to say that some of her friends also have doubts about Andrew because it says some of her friends don't trust him and his intention. They did get together so fast, which some of her friends, that almost sounds like her brother, because her brother has been very vocal on social media that he doesn't trust Andrew, and just wait, everyone, there's more to this story. Seriously. So with that said, I'm still believing that this is coming from her family because her family is her best enabler. All right, so then we've got, this is all on the heels of that deleted message that she put on Instagram that said cheating is a choice, not a mistake. So I think what they're trying to say is, Amber did this to him, but, she's learning all of this stuff about him, and that's why she did this to him. And if you guys knew what we knew, you would be like, whoa, Andrew totally deserved it. Like, that's kind of the sentiments I'm getting here. Now, they also said that, now this is the other thing. So a lot has been in the media about this is related to Amber's, a fight over, what was it? Fireworks. And she said, the source says, she wasn't just upset out of nowhere. There were things going on between her and Andrew that led to this. And they said that cracks in the relationship were starting to form. For the most part, it's been good, but lately a few issues have popped up that have made her question things and challenge her trust in him. And that she has been through a lot. She just wants to be able to trust someone, and there have always been major issues. And the source also said that even though Amber has mental health issues, she takes her health very seriously. Really. So while you're on marriage boot camp, Amby, and you're not sober, and you're lashing out and fighting with Renee Graziano and Brandy Glanville and every single person on the show, you are in a good place. And that would have been the appropriate time to meet a boyfriend and get involved and get pregnant in 2 seconds. That actually, to me, doesn't sound like someone that's taking care of their mental health or taking care of themselves, because when you're not in a place where you're not sober and you're not in your recovery, the last thing you should be doing is adding a new relationship, and then you add into it a pregnancy, which is just even more stressful. And then if you just remember, like even this year, these two were talking about adding another child, and she was so convinced that he was the one, because when you have a good man, this is what you do. Why would you use protection? Like, Amber is clearly not using her best. I don't buy it, source, aka Sean Portwood or Tanya. Or maybe it's Amber's distant cousin, Crystal. Maybe it's Matt Bear. Oh my God, what if it was Matt Bear that was the source? I would love to know who the source is. This would make me so excited to know if it was Matt. Because Matt also said, nothing happened here, and I was never in a relationship that involved anything abusive. So they said that the entire fight was misconstrued, you guys. Misconstrued. There wasn't certain aspects like a wielding cucumber that might have been a part of this fight. There might have not been a lot of things that might have not been part of this fight. So this is Spin 101. Start blaming the victim. And maybe some parts of it didn't happen. Maybe some parts of it were a little bit more fabricated. But the police are not going to do an entire investigation, and prosecutors certainly aren't going to add the specific charges that they did without evidence. And they're not going to just like go off somebody's word. That literally isn't how the criminal justice system works. They cannot, if you know anything about the criminal justice system, it is entirely difficult in today's justice system to prosecute simply based on word and hearsay, because there's always two sides to every story, because they almost always need to have supporting evidence to back up those claims. So then obviously Amber's spinning everything, but then Deborah Danielson, weird, Farrah's mom, spoke to the Ashley Reality Roundup. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but Deborah and Amber apparently were like besties for a point in time. I'm not sure why or how, but Deborah's weird and Amber's bizarre, and maybe they wanted to be best friends. So there was also rumors at one point in time that Deborah was inviting her to be a maid of honor in her wedding, which we all know is not true. That didn't happen. But oddly enough, Amber was invited to Deborah's wedding to her stage 3 Klingon husband that she, I think, is married to now. Now, if you're ever on Deborah's, if you ever find yourself on Deborah's Instagram, I will say it's quite the messiness. The other day, she actually uploaded a video about making BLTs in the morning. Like, seriously, that was her video, and she sounded like she was on something. She was kind of slurring her words a little bit. And seemed a little out of it. And she's like, and then she's written a book, and she's like, seriously, like Deborah, who's like in her probably late 50s, is trying to be an influencer on Instagram. I'm not even lying. So then there's Deborah. Now, Deborah, of course, using her influencer techniques and her skills, of course, needs to drop some information and talk to the Ashley. And what she said isn't actually terrible. I mean, she said that, first of all, I feel super bad if Amber feels so sad that she wants to KILL herself. There are so many people that would love to help her, myself included. That's nice, Deborah. Way to insert yourself into the drama. And then she said that Amber's actions indicate that she needs to take some time off and get some serious help. Well, that's not something obvious, Deborah. Way to point out the obvious. You think wielding a cucumber on your boyfriend and kid might be an indication you need some help. But, Deborah's not one for like profound thoughts. So her quote to the Ashley was, I think it's time she takes the time out to learn to love herself and really fully concentrate on herself and not have to do whatever she's feeling bad about. I don't know what the problem is. I think she deserves the time to take care of it. Maybe she's got severe anger problems, but there's nothing down inside of her. There's something down inside of her that she needs time away to fully explore and get out. Right? I'm pretty sure all of us have realized that Amber needs some serious help and has probably been using doctors for medication rather than actually using therapy as an option. But she continued by saying that in order for her to really get through this, she'll need to do the work, and that's not easy to overcome. And you guys, I noticed that on Marriage Boot Camp when Dr. Ish tried to tell Amber that some of her behavior is really just learned from her childhood, and that she's needs to really learn skills to manage her anger. Amber immediately was like, well, I have borderline, so that's why I'm like this, and I'm going to be like this all the time, and I have bipolar, so that's why I'm like this too. But Dr. Ish also noted that during Marriage Boot Camp, he didn't think that she was taking her medications. He thought that she might be on and off of them. He said in his professional opinion, her mood instability seemed to be a factor of like whether or not she was actually using her medications, because had she been on the proper medications, her moods would have been more stable, and she wasn't showing that her moods were stable. And that's from a psychiatrist that works with addiction. So I don't really particularly enjoy Dr. Ish, but dude knows what he's talking about. All right. So then, oops, I keep opening this one. All right. Then she went on to say it's not easy work. It's painful and it takes a lot of time, and maybe the cost is high. Maybe she can't film for a while, but in the long run, I think it would be better for her. She said, I pray for her and I want her to be happy and healthy. Everybody slams her for sitting on the couch and laying in bed. However, for years, all the time we filmed, everybody slammed her. Okay, I get it. You want to say that she had a job and she wasn't just sitting on her couch, but at the same time, I think it didn't help her or motivate her to do anything beyond sitting on her couch. And she said that, Deborah continued, I think she sort of gave up on herself at some point, and maybe she's depressed about something, and maybe she doesn't even know what. She hasn't gotten the help or attention to know what's going on. And she also blamed MTV because producers know that each of the girl has a weakness and they exploit those weaknesses. So she said, I know the producers know the girls have weaknesses and they think they're helping other people by showing the girls' stories, even their struggles, but it's hard on the people in front of the camera. It's hard, very hard to have your demons play out in front of millions of people in real time each week. So yes, obviously, but at the same time, Amber, you know what you're signing up for. If you don't like it, get off MTV and get a real job. I really get upset with these people that put themselves out there and then get angry when the negative aspects of their lives are shown. I'll tell you what, I work as a writer, and I could write 35 stories about good things every single day and get 20 people to write it. But today I wrote a story about a midwife in Indiana that made a really bad choice, and it resulted in a baby not making it. And that's blowing up on my blog right now because that's the kind of stuff people want to read about. People don't care about happiness. They go to the internet for drama. So she said, Amber, and then so of course after Deborah makes those statements, Farrah made statements which says Amber doesn't have custody of her daughter, and I'm pretty sure even though she's trying her hardest to be a great mom and have a new opportunity to be a great mom, she's probably going to lose custody of her new child. She's just not in a good relationship. Maybe being on Teen Mom hasn't made her tougher or made her learn her lessons. I think being on Teen Mom is probably half of the problem. My blog, let's see, I can get that up for you. I cover a lot of stuff on birth, you guys. It's one of my specialties, and I cover a lot of stuff related to midwifery and a lot of the issues that are going on with it. So I will pop the link over in the live chat for you right now. All right, there you go. So now, in relation to Amber, no matter what the spin doctors say, she can't get out of this by blaming Andrew. And even if there were things that came up, and even if things happened in their relationship, even if she feels like he deceived her or he's taking advantage of her or he lied to her, she's responsible for her choices. She is 29 years old. She is not 14 years old. She is not a child. And every single day we have the opportunity to make choices or to make good choices or bad choices. In this case, she made the choice to get involved with a man while she was still in a relationship with another man, and then within only months of knowing him, decide to have a child with him, move in with him, and create an Insta family. Now, I know a lot of you will say that that's a part of her personality disorder, which is fine, but at the same time, if there's people in her life that know that she has this issue, they should be able to show her, this is a red flag. You are making this decision and you are doing this and you shouldn't be doing this. This is too fast. This is too quick. And they should be encouraging her to be seeking help and talking with doctors rather than seeking validation through a man. And also, on top of all of that, none of that explains her wielding a cucumber against her child and her boyfriend, or ever resorting to a DV situation. That none of these, even if she's angry, is an excuse, ever. She is a 29-year-old woman. We do not use our fists or our hands to solve issues. We do not resort to that, to DV when we're in relationships. When we have problems, we discuss things in a rational way. Even if it's painful or hard, you have to have those tough conversations. You need to have coping skills to manage those skills. It's just unbelievable to me that at every single turn and every single step, she is going to deflect and blame everyone else but herself. And unfortunately, at 29 years old, when history continues to repeat itself, you get a couple free passes. When you're younger and you make mistakes, I'll give you a pass. When you say that you've changed and you demonstrate that you changed, I'll give you a pass. But when the pattern continues to repeat itself and the same mistakes are made, it's getting to a point where nobody trusts her or believes her anymore. Most fans are just like, Amber, you're done. And now on Twitter, people are demanding MTV say something. And you guys, I'll mind you, it's July 19th today, and this happened on July 5th. We are 14 days removed from this incident, and MTV has not once said a single thing about this entire situation. Nothing. Nothing. They reacted faster related to issues with Janelle Eason and a dog than they did to potential DV against a child. That's really concerning. And I'm not okay with that. So, this is the tea related to Amber. I will be back later this morning. We've got some tea related to Mackenzie and Ryan Edwards. And if there's other stuff that you want me to look into, please let me know. Now, I've gotten some requests for some of the shows. I don't watch Southern Charm, and I think that show's been on for a really long time, so it would probably be super hard for me to catch up on. But I can continue with 90 Day Fiance if you guys like that, and L After L if you guys like that too. I'm having some issues with monetization with L After L though because of the name and because of the content of it. I don't know why YouTube is so weird. But if there's other things that you want me to look into, I haven't watched all of the new seasons of 90 Day Fiance, but if there's like a specific couple you want me to look into, I can certainly dig. Otherwise, I will be back later this morning with some more tea about Mackenzie and Ryan Edwards, and I want to know in comments what you think about Amber. Do you think it's time for her to take responsibility and stop spinning this in her favor and making herself the victim? Or do you buy it? Do you buy that there's more to the story and that we're not getting the whole story and that this has been misconstrued? I want to know. Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.